Hi everybody, Marianne and Joe here. So today I'm going to make, which I thought I had put on the website before, it's actually spinach pie. This is not something my mother would make because we didn't have this kind of food. Joe's mother actually, I think this was your mother and father's recipe, and it's really, really good. It's a nice, if you want to have a meatless dinner, so sometimes we would have it on Friday, and the recipe that I'm going to do today, I'm gonna double it because while I'm doing it, I just like to make double, and it's actually good for lunch the next day. So I kind of just started ahead here. So what you're going to need is a medium onion, but again, I'm doubling it. So I used an onion and like an onion and a half of a large onion, and I already started to saute this. Okay, so if you're going to only make one, you're going to just cut it in half. So I used half a cup of oil, and I already started a finely chopped onion. So this is already started. So let me just show you here. I hope you're not following me, Joe. Okay. So this is already done. To this now, because in this I sauteed it for about, I want to say already 10 minutes. To this, believe it or not, this is 2 of these boxes of spinach, chopped spinach. So you have to, that's like a little bit of a pain because you have to drain it, and then I squeezed all the water out, so that's what's left here. So I'm going to put this into here until it's moistened, but it was actually 10 ounces of the chopped spinach, okay? And as I said, I had that ready for you. 2 pounds of ricotta, okay? This is then 1 pound of mozzarella cheese, but I did the combination, the Parmesan, provolone, Parmesan Romano, but again, if whatever cheese, but I like the combination because that has a little bit of flavor. A cup of plain breadcrumbs, and to that you also have 6 eggs, and I already cracked open the eggs, so that's already ready to go. And then you're going to have 2 pie shells. I just buy these, the deep dish. I don't know how to say this company's name, but again, whatever one you want. And this one has the dishes in it already. So normally you're supposed to use a quarter cup of butter for one. I'm going to try the quarter cup of butter because you're going to see what I do is you melt it and you kind of swirl it into this dish so that it makes the crust have a nice crust, flaky, okay, and it cooked. It's not doughy. But I'm going to try if I need a little bit more. Otherwise, the whole recipe calls for a quarter of the melted butter, but I'm going to try to do a quarter for both, okay? So the first part, you have to finely chop your onion, and then you saute it. So this part's already done. To this, I'm going to add the spinach. I'm going to bring it back to the oven, stovetop, right? I have to think of stovetop. I'm going to just cook this until it's moistened. To that, when I get that ready, I'm going to mix the eggs, and I'm going to put the breadcrumb, and I'm going to get the cheese ready to go. Okay? So do you want to come back or you want to watch it, Joe? I don't know. What do you think?
We'll come back.
Okay. Well, let me show you this first, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the spinach actually looks a little bigger because I guess I compressed it. So again, this is, figure a large onion, little over, large onion, 2 boxes of the chopped spinach, and then to this I added a half a cup of oil. So I sauteed the oil first, and then I added the spinach just to moisten it. So this is ready. The onions you have to cook about half an hour, very low heat, just till they're translucent.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
of course.
You put the oil, and then you did the onions in the oil, and then you put the spinach, but you didn't add any more oil.
No,
Okay.
no more oil, just that original oil, and then I just added that spinach that I had crunched up. Now remember I told you, be careful, because I just had to clean the microwave. This is quarter of a cup of butter. So what you do with the butter is, and I'm going to, because sometimes the butter on the bottom, so I'm going to put a little bit in here, trying to make sure. And then what you do, as I said, this recipe actually calls for that whole thing for this. What's going to happen, because this was frozen, it's going to freeze right away. So I take a spatula, and as it's still moving, I try to kind of coat everything, but lightly, because I don't think you really need that much butter. Then you're going to see it's going to kind of freeze back over. As I said to you, I made a mess in my microwave, but I cleaned it already. So here, pour this in, and I'm going to keep that extra. Okay. Actually, I think the quarter of cup does both. So again, you're going to go around just that you want this coated. And what it'll do is when this spinach pie is done, you're gonna see the crust is so flaky, and not really flaky, but cooked and really delicious. Okay, so this is perfect for this one. So I have a little bit there to go through. And you're seeing it's solidifying, so I want to get this edge here where I didn't get, but I guess it doesn't even matter that much. So I think the 1/4 cup is perfect. I use salted butter. I know a lot of people don't like this salted, but I think I didn't add any salt to this recipe, so I think the salt is fine. That thing is fine. Okay. See, this is really plenty. The only other thing that I'm going to do that's a little bit of a pain is put the aluminum foil on the top. And, okay, sorry. You could stay or you can come back, but all right, so this is ready. And I'm going to put this on a baking sheet. Okay, so these are ready. We'll leave those there and there. Now I have to this, remember I had my 2 pounds of ricotta. I added 1 pound of the mozzarella with the mixture one. Okay, then now I'm going to add my spinach mixture. We used to get this in, I think it was at Houlihan's. Joe, you used to get the spinach pie. Was that where you used to? Remember there was something, they had a lunch special. Once you make this, it actually we haven't been out forever, so I don't even know.
What's a restaurant?
I know. And again, it's cold today. I don't know where people are watching from, but it's very cold here. And anytime it's cold, remember my mother, Philomena, would say, put something in the oven. Okay, so now I'm going to mix this. Once this is mixed, thoroughly mixed, okay, this is my ricotta, my mozzarella mixture, and the spinach, onion, and it has a little bit of oil. Now I beat up my 6 eggs. I'm going to add this. When you put the breadcrumbs in, it comes a very thick consistency. Okay? So this is almost ready. So I'm going to mix this and then come back, Joe, because then I'll get all this ready.
Okay.
Because I want to mix it very well. I want to make sure I incorporate all the spinach into the ricotta.
Go back, Marianne.
We'll be back.
Okay? So now I'm mixing my cup of breadcrumbs with my 6 eggs. Now remember, you could, if you only want to make one of these pie ones, you can. But I always make the double because we're going to eat one for dinner. We won't finish the whole one, and then I give some to I'll give some to my sister-in-law, and Joe eats, and then actually we'll have it for the next day for lunch as well. So we almost get a whole pie at the end, like a whole spinach. And it's good, it heats up well, and it's also good cold. You like it cold, I think, right?
Yeah, I like it both ways.
No, I mean, you like it, when we heat it up for lunch, you eat it cold.
I've been heating it now more than eating it cold.
And I always would heat it up, because I like it heated better. Okay, so now, this is the egg mixture I'm gonna mix into here. Okay, I told you, remember, I said it gets kind of like thick. Need a little muscle here to mix this. And it makes, so then I'm going to, once I get it cooked, and I have my oven preheating, and I have it
To
at
what?
425. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it, I think it takes about an hour until you're going to see the top gets golden brown. But what I do is, see how I have it set here? After about half an hour, I'm going to take them and I'm going to turn the pans so that the inside, because these are connected to each other. And always put it on here because I think once in a while it oozes a little bit, you know, so you don't want to make a big mess in your oven. But not much, but I always put it on because especially it's aluminum pan. You probably could, I'm sure you could, make your own pie shell. I always try to keep like a set in there. Now, because I just finished this, what I'll do is I'll go out and buy, put another two in my shell. Okay, so I'm mixing this well.
2 in the refrigerator, you mean?
Two in the freezer. Sorry.
Freezer.
And I'll also replenish my 2 packs of spinach. I have an extra one ready. But so this is a nice meatless, and I think it's good. Different, and it's something, sometimes you...
It's nice to just like a salad.
Yeah, and sometimes you just get so tired of you don't know what to make, or, you know, and on a day like today, this, of course, you can pair this up, you know, if you want to make a fish dish, or, but actually, really, this is enough for, what this whole, is it, with a salad, like you said, Joe, is enough for a meal. Okay, so I think that's pretty well done. And now, you see, I took this aluminum foil out. That's because I'm going to go around the edges with the aluminum foil. They've gotten a little skimpy. They used to have a lot here. Okay, so you can come back. I'm just going to pour these in.
Okay.
I'm going to even it out, and then
back
I'll
with
show
you.
you. Okay, so what I do, and I used to have that little thing that goes around the pie thing so it doesn't, your pie, those little tips of your pie crust don't burn this end. Just getting a little, sorry if it's tedious. But I put it on, and I'll take it off the last 15 minutes of cooking.
She made little
usually,
strips of aluminum foil to wrap around.
They do sell this, and I had one. But you know what the problem was? Every pie shell that's slightly different doesn't quite, you know, keep it on. Oops, just keep it. It protects it. I don't like the crust to get really, and you know I like everything well done, but I don't like it. And you have to be careful. I don't like it to get overburnt, but yeah, and you also have to be careful when you take this aluminum foil out, because some of it will stick to the spinach mixture. So you have to kind of be, but in order to get it on, I have to kind of push it into the, okay, so that's perfect there, see? So, whoops, pulled out a little bit. All right, and as I said to you before, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put it in the oven. I think it's about, recipe calls less, but if I remember correctly, mine always takes about an hour. And so I'm gonna push them in here. Separate a little bit because I want some air to get, heat to get in the middle. As you can see, I'm a little anal. Okay. And I'm gonna pull it over a little bit. And then when I put it in the oven, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this way, okay, with that lip towards you. Then I'm gonna turn it, as I said, and then I'm gonna move this pie that's in the back to the front, okay? So it's at 425, we will see you in an hour. Okay, so I just took this out of the oven. Look how beautiful. And I'm just taking the aluminum off. I was gonna cook it for another 15 minutes, but I think it might be done. I might put it in, as I see how that crust got.
What is this, 45 minutes so far?
45 minutes at, 45 minutes at, ow, very hot.
I guess it would vary though with people's
45
ovens.
minutes at, yes, 45 minutes at, 45 minutes at 425. That's why I'm getting confused, okay? So anyway, you can see it's really, I think it's done. I don't know if I don't want to overdo it. See, you're going to see it's hard. Can't taste it now. So when we have it for dinner, I'll come back and we'll taste it. I might put it in, but see, this is why I covered it, because you look at the crust. If this was uncovered, I mean, if you just left it in there, it would just be burned to smithereens. Okay, so I might just put it in for another 2 minutes, but I might just leave it. I think it's actually done. Actually, let me just put a little knife in it. It smells good, right?
Yeah.
See, clear. So it's cooked. Perfect. It's a thumbs up for me. Anyway, I'm giving myself a thumbs up. All right, so we'll see you later. And it gave us time. That was good. So as I said, I turned it after half an hour so that I didn't have it cooking, and this part was separated a little bit because I didn't want it to, as I said to you before, sometimes the inside. And this part that's darker, it was because that was on the outside.
So she turned each pie and she turned the whole
pan.
entire tray.
So this one that was in the front went to the back and vice versa.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you're only making one, that's not an issue. All right?
Okay.
So I will be back when we taste it.
Can't wait. Hi, Marianne, we're back.
Bye. Okay, I'm just taking a piece out. I want to show you also, look, see what I'm talking about? The crust is nice. Okay? And a piece fell off, so I just ate that piece, so I'm going to taste the piece. Joe, you want a piece?
No, we eat.
Woohoo! Really good. And as I said, look, it's a nice, it's a thick, you know what I'm saying? It's really good, Joe. Bon appetit. I hope you try this. Let me know. Let Joe know, because you know how bad I am.